Anderson Silva.
Anderson Silva retirement. So I've been watching MMA for like almost 10 years now. Maybe 10 years, yeah. Around 10 years now.
Long time.
Yeah, so I caught Anderson right before the first Chael fight. That's when I started watching. His legend was on the level of John Jones. Let me give a better comparison. John level of, I don't want to say Khabib, but he was on this level where he could not be touched, right? Every fight that he went into, unstoppable, would eat shots, walk through people, dodge. It was the human matrix, right? This guy had,
So like Adesanya.
yeah, maybe an Adesanya, like a 1.0 of Adesanya, right?
Yeah.
The reason why I say 1.0 is because Anderson was not necessarily the same skill set, right? He was a counter striker, finesse. He kicked a lot, but he didn't necessarily have the same movement and didn't have the same wrestling defense. Was BJJ black belt, but a little bit different than Adesanya. So yesterday he fought Uriah Hall, who was supposed to be what Adesanya was later touted as the next Anderson Silva, right? So he faces Uriah Hall and gets knocked out by a punch that probably in the last 10 years, maybe back where I started watching, he would have walked through it, right? He's very good at rolling with the punches, so he doesn't completely absorb it. But as well, this guy would put his hands on his hips and be like, "Yo, hit me," and people would hit him as hard as they can, and he still wouldn't even shake him. It's kind of sad to see. He lost 3 or 4 fights in a row now. One of them also was a no contest with with Nick Diaz because he got popped for steroids as well. The man has a terrible body. Like, it's just, he's never had a 6-pack body. He's never had like the Paulo Costa. He's never even come close to that. Right? He's always been this skinny fat 185 legend. So it was kind of surprising.
So you were
about
saying
steroids.
Yeah. So you were saying that you watched him. You're saying almost 10 years ago now, right?
Yeah. In like 2009ish.
So I only started watching UFC seriously for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
So
it's a completely different person.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you had to watch that. Man,
So
his leg kicks, he got stopped because of leg kicks. He got knocked out recently. He got stopped.
So the only fight of him that I actually properly watched, don't call me a casual, but it was him versus Adesanya. And when I was watching that fight, I guess he showed flashes of his pass off, right, with his dodging and everything.
Yeah.
But even then, you're right. His style is very weird.
Yeah.
It's like, as you were saying, like, he wants to get hit.
Yeah.
But even then, you watch these punches and you almost cringe because you're like, put your hands up.
Yeah.
Put your hands
but
up.
that's him. That's
but
him.
I guess
that's
him.
If you go back and watch him versus Forrest Griffin, right? You'll say the same thing to yourself, but then you'll be like, wait a second, who's this guy? Right?
Yeah.
Are these the same two people? Right? If you watch him versus Damian Maya, not Damian Maya, Vitor Belfort. Don't watch Damian Maya, by the way. They literally just walk in a circle and just waste time. It was a huge political move. Silva against Dana White, but watch against Vitor Belfort, where he literally front kicks him to the face and knocks him out with one kick and it walks away. No, did he walk away? No, he didn't walk away. He stood there and then he came up and he finished him with punches. Anderson Silva, absolute legend. I remember in it was a while back. I think it was like 2012. He signed a 10-fight deal, and back then he was probably like 38 or something like that. And I was thinking, I was like, 10
right
fights?
Now he's 45, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, 10 fights? Are you kidding me? Like, you just lost the title. Like, you're probably going to decline from here. What are you doing 10 fights? So, I guess...
And how much are these paydays for these guys? Because, I'll tell you, when I saw the Khabib payday, he made $10 million, right? And then I saw that Gaethje made $440K.
Yeah.
So how much is he making off these fights?
So just to put in a side note, a note into that one, what you just said, they also get champions get pay-per-view cuts. So
Yeah.
that's also not disclosed. The one number that you're seeing is just the one that they disclose to the commissions.
Hmm.
Uh, Anderson Silva probably makes close to $1 million, maybe a little bit more per fight.
Per fight.
Yeah, it's probably because he also has been with the UFC a long time, and as you
Yeah.
fight for them for a longer amount of time, you sign for bigger and bigger deals. But he had a 10 fight deal back in 2012. This last fight that he had was his 9th, so he actually has one left on his contract.
He has one more, but he's called it a day, huh?
He didn't call it a day. Dana White said, "Hey, I'm never letting Anderson Silva fight again in the UFC." So what does that mean? Anderson Silva will have a tough time trying to go to any other organization for MMA because he has that one fight deal. As well, if he tries to have a fight in the UFC, they probably will try to stop him. Dana White's pretty good.
Yeah, I can see why,
Yeah, Dana White's pretty good when he says, I'm not going to let this person fight anymore in the UFC. He usually does that. He's been wishy-washy on some guys like BJ Penn, but typically when
Sanchez, huh?
yeah, when he says, I won't let these guys fight again, then they usually don't show up.
Yeah. But how does that work then? He just pays off their last fight?
No, what's funny is that these contracts these guys are contractors, right? So
yeah,
he has one fight left on his contract, and for as long as he's an active fighter, he's not able to work anywhere else. It doesn't just expire, that contract. So if he says, "Oh, I'm retired," and then a year later tries to unretire and fight for Bellator, UFC will come and say, "Hey, you can't fight for Bellator. You have one fight left on your contract." And he'll be like, "Hey, what do you mean one fight on your contract? You told me you won't let me fight there." So that's where the issues might arise. But I don't know if he even wants to fight anymore. He's 45, turning 46.
Yeah, he shouldn't. He's after that last fight, it's not very good,
But legend. Put some respect on his name, for sure.
Yeah, of course.
For sure.